Well, buenos dias, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Lanzarote information, news and weather from me, Mike, from Lanzarote Information. And I tend to start these by giving you a weather update. And actually this week we've had decent weather, fairly typical for the month of March. Lovely, sunny, warm daytime temperatures. A little bit on the chilly side at night, so you might need a light fleece at night. Light winds and above all, no rain, not since last weekend. Although we didn't get much, in fact, we didn't get any rain in the north of the island, but in the south, in Playa Blanca, there was a tremendous amount of rain that fell in a very short space of time and caused a lot of flooding, as we'll find out in a moment with the news. But first, it is bluefin tuna season, and the Restaurante Brisa Marina in Playa Blanca has, as it always does, bought the first big bluefin tuna that's been caught as part of the season. The one they bought this year was 350 kilos, and it cost them just shy of 10,000 euros. So they will now convert that into all kinds of dishes. They do a fabulous selection at this time of the year, ranging from sushi style dishes to more traditional tuna steaks and lots of stuff in between with interesting things like truffle sauces. So if you're staying in Playa Blanca over the next week or 10 days or so, pop into Brisa Marina and see what they have on offer from that magnificent fish that they've bought. Next up, we've had the February figures through, and income for hotels and apartment complexes, which are known as extra hotels here, was up in February versus last year by about 4.8%. to just under 90 million euros, and they ran at an occupancy rate of just over 90%, 90.69% to be exact. So good news for the hotel operators. Last year, as we know, was a record year for tourism and for income. Well, the income in February this year is up 5%. And talking of the economy, the Spanish economy has just released figures for the whole of 2025, and GDP grew by 2.8%, meaning that Spain is one of the fastest, if not the fastest growing economy in all of Europe. So things are continuing really, really well for the Spanish economy as we move into towards the end of the first quarter of 2026. We had one of those extraordinary stories this week where a hire car was driven by two tourists onto the beach at Playa Los Pocios. Inevitably, it got stuck in the deep sand there. They couldn't get it out. The police were called. The police called the fire service that managed to tow the vehicle out. I don't know what people are thinking about trying to drive onto a beach in their hire car, but they did. I was going to say perhaps they'll get a big bill from their car hire company, but maybe I should say I hope they get a big bill from their car hire company. Now let's talk about those floods down in Playa Blanca. They hit the Montaña Roja region and Faro Park area the worst. And I mean, some of the pictures were absolutely astonishing, bearing in mind that we're only 70 kilometers from Playa Blanca and we didn't have any rain at all. They had literally rivers flowing down the streets. A lot of people's homes were flooded down there. It took ages and ages to do the cleanup. The flooding caused the power supply to go down in some places and the internet in a lot of places because inevitably when there are floods flowing down the road, they tend to flood the telephone junction boxes as well. So a bit of a nightmare for the people down there. I gather they've sort of got the cleanup underway fairly well now, and we're quite a few days after that event. One of the big benefits of living here is that we don't tend to have carpets. We tend to have tiled floors everywhere. So when there is a flood, it's relatively easy to clean up. Now that flooding, of course, was caused by the tail end of Storm Teresa, which didn't hit Lanzarote too badly at all, apart from that flooding in Playa Blanca, but it gave Tenerife and Gran Canaria the worst of it. They had lots and lots of heavy rain, very, very strong winds as well, and huge seas around the two capital islands as they're known. Here in Lanzarote, as I said, it wasn't too bad at all. But one of the things that it did cause last weekend was issues at the airport for us. And I've talked about this before, I'm sure, but the runway, when the wind is blowing from the south, aircraft land in the runway that is over land, and that doesn't have an instrument landing system. It doesn't have ILS, and that's because the terrain in the lead down to it makes it impossible to use ILS. What does that mean? It means that aircraft landing from that side have to land visually. The pilots at a certain height have a decision to make. If they can see the runway, they can go ahead with the landing. If they can't see the runway, they have to go around and or divert to another airport. So what happens when we get a southerly wind? We also get very low cloud, and the two came together last weekend and caused, I think it was a total of 3 flight cancellations, but a number of other flights were diverted to Fuerteventura and then had to come back to Lanzarote later in the day. The 3 cancellations were probably caused, I don't know this for sure, by the crew running out of hours and being unable to fly their passengers home. We had one client involved in that, one of our holiday clients involved in that. They were on an EasyJet flight. Julie was on the phone to them constantly, making sure, and to EasyJet, making sure the passengers were being looked after, and they were. The people on that EasyJet flight were taken by bus to a hotel in Arrecife. They got back to the airport the next day, and their flight took off about 24 hours late. And obviously the cost of the hotel was covered by EasyJet. I gather there were 2 TUI flights where the passengers weren't quite so lucky, and TUI were unable to arrange accommodation for them. So some or all of those people, I don't know the numbers involved, ended up having to spend the night at the airport. So we did get some issues last weekend, although the weather wasn't too bad. That combination of low cloud and the wind blowing from the south caused its usual mayhem at the airport here. Now, I absolutely love this story, and I'll give you the lowdown on it a bit. You might recall that I mentioned in the newsletter last week that the Mojito Bar down in Arrieta, on Arrieta Beach, which is basically an old Volkswagen air-cooled bus, burnt down last weekend. And it was like, it was tragic news for everyone. We kind of woke up on, I think it was Saturday morning, may have been Sunday morning, to read the news and see pictures from the early hours of the morning of the Mojito Bar completely on fire and completely burned out. It must have been Saturday morning, I think. Anyway, what happened? All the vecinos, all the neighbours of that area, people from Arrieta, people from Arria, descended on the place, and in the space of about 12 hours, they completely rebuilt it. They stripped, and it was badly burned, they stripped it back to the bare metal, they resprayed it, they restocked all the booze that had exploded and caught fire, and got the thing back up and running. I think it's a wonderful example of people power and the way people work here in Spain, and the way neighbourhoods come together. There's an ulterior motive to this. It isn't just that everyone, wanted the Mojito Bar up and running again quickly. They did, but they needed to get it up and running quickly, because Spain is notorious for when buildings get damaged, it can take months and months and months to get the necessary permissions to rebuild them, even if it's the way it was before. So this was just genius, because they went down and completely did the rebuild before anyone realised what had happened. So the planning officer, in my imagination, I'm sure this didn't happen, the planning officer turned up on Monday and, with his clipboard and said, hey, I hear there's been a fire here, and everyone will go, well, no, look, everything's normal. It's as it was 3 days ago. Anyway, that's the story. I loved it, and there's so much about it that is so typical of Spain. That whole neighbourly thing and the bureaucracy that sometimes gets in all our way, and those neighbours finding a way to circumvent that. So good on you all, and I should be going down there to have a mojito in the not too distant future again, I'm sure. It reminds me of another story actually, which I'll share with you because it's very similar and it happened in the same area as well. Years ago, we lived in Punta Mujeres, which is the next village along from Arrieta. And we had a small boat that we used to moor just off the little harbour in Punta Mujeres. And one night it broke free of its moorings and ran aground in some rocks between Punta Mujeres and Arrieta. And we were alerted by a young lad who lived in the village who knew it was our boat. He knocked on our door at 5 a.m. one morning. We went down, I called a couple of mates to come and help me, and we were sort of scratching our heads looking at the boat, trying to decide how we could lighten it enough for us to be able to pick it up and take it ashore before the tide came in and smashed the boat to bits. And while we were doing this and trying to work out how to do it, a Guardia Civil car pulled up and the two cops got out and they said, well, what's going on here? And I explained the situation to them and they said, okay, well, we'll see what we can do to help. They got in the car and drove off and I thought, well, thanks, I don't know what happened there. Anyway, turns out they made a few phone calls and 15 minutes later, the entire wrestling team from Aria, the Lucha wrestling team, had driven down, put their belts on, and I think there was 8 of them. 4 of them got on each side of the boat, lifted it up and literally carried it onto the road and put it onto the trailer, which Julie had brought down in the meantime. So that again is that kind of people power, vecino power, neighbour power that is one of the things I love so much about Spain. Well, I've probably done far too much waffling. I've got one more news story for you this week, and that is that we will have fewer flights to the island this coming summer. And that isn't something I've said really since COVID. Every year since COVID, we've had more and more and more flights coming in. And we have reached a stage where I believe, and I think a lot of other people believe, we have too much tourism here. And the first sign we've been looking for of it gradually coming under control and perhaps reducing in the relatively near future is to see the number of flights coming into the island coming down. It's not a huge amount. In fact, I'm going to pick my iPad up because I can't remember the numbers. But there will be an average of 679 flights per week this summer versus 700 last summer. So that means 264 of those will be inter-island flights and 100 to the mainland of Spain. The rest will be international flights. But that difference is not massive, 21 I think it is, but that's up to 4,000 people fewer per week on the island. And that's a pretty significant number. So that's potentially, a few hundred fewer cars on the island, hire cars driving on the roads. It's fewer people in the queues for the attractions. It's fewer people booking tables at restaurants, and things might just calm down a little bit this summer. It might not be quite so hectic and bursting at the seams as it felt in the summer of 2025. So that's it for this week. Thank you so much for watching. Do feel free to leave a comment below with any questions you might have about the island or life in general. I read all of them. I'm always happy to answer them. If you've enjoyed this video, please click the thumbs up sign because that tells YouTube that you've enjoyed the video and is very beneficial to the channel. And if you haven't already subscribed, then please hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss any of our videos. We do at least 2 a week. One tends to be posted on a Wednesday and the other one, this one, gets posted to YouTube on a Saturday, although our newsletter readers get it a little bit earlier. They get it the day before on a Friday. Okay, thanks so much for watching. Once again, bye for now, everyone. Bye.